Hey everyone, today I'm coming to you from sunny Brisbane, but it is a little bit overcast. I'm in my backyard. I'm a bit worried the midges might bite me. They come out on overcast days at this time of year, which is a bit of a concern. I like to get out into nature because, as authors, we're stuck inside 24/7, eating, drinking, whatever, coffee, wine, whatever helps us write more. And we are staring at artificial screens a lot. So all the author advice for author health is usually like diet and exercise and stuff like that. But we really need to get back into nature and away from our artificial lights and the artificial like overhead lights and artificial light and screens, which can be quite damaging. But anyway, that's not my topic for today. My topic for today is the 5 signs that show you that your Shopify strategy is wrong. Now, it can be your e-commerce strategy if you don't have Shopify, but these things will show you that your strategy is very wrong. And I will start with my pet peeve, the landing page. It makes me want to scream and swear, and I don't swear because I'm a cozy mystery author and we don't swear. That's my story anyway. But the worst thing is a landing page. Now, who uses landing pages? No one with a product under $5,000. Now, books. Now, I'm always saying books are not magical unicorns. Books are simply products. Of course, every product will have to be sold a little differently, like horse riding gear, running shoes, Louboutin shoes, everything, designer bags, everything is sold slightly differently. But everything sticks to the same e-commerce principles. Those who depart furthest from the norm find the greatest tragedy, as Thomas Hardy said. But it is not the done thing in e-commerce to have a landing page for a product under $5,000 or a product that doesn't need a lot of explaining. Now, you might have a product that's, say, $200 and it's your own invention. Maybe, for example, those self-cleaning cat litter trays, when that first came out, I don't know how much they are because my cat passed away a few years ago and I have 2 big dogs, so obviously I can't get another cat. But all that aside, if it was a product like that was new to the market and you had to explain it a lot, what would you do? You would have to maybe have a landing page or a page explaining it at great length. You couldn't send someone direct to product. But in sound e-commerce principles, you avoid landing pages like the plague if you have an easy-to-understand product. A book, everyone knows you read a book, an easy-to-understand product that is under $5,000. Now, if you're running a Facebook ad to a $20 or $40 bundle, I'm mathematically challenged, but I can tell that is under $5,000 and you should be able to tell too. So why do authors advise landing pages? Well, some, not all. Either they're trying to sell you something or they have the best of intentions and they don't know any better. And some people say it works for them. If I throw an advertising budget at anything, no matter how bad, it's going to work. And as I always say over and over and over again ad nauseum, if you've blown up on TikTok or you're doing 6 or 7 figures on Amazon, no matter what you do when you take it to e-commerce, at first, but only at first, it will work for you because you're leveraging those hot audiences. But e-commerce works on cold, but I've got plenty of videos on that. So back to the point, a landing page. No, there are too many steps. You won't do as well, anywhere near as well as sending them direct to product. Send them directly to your sales page. Now, a couple of logical fallacies I'd like to address with landing pages. People always say, but a landing page shows me where people leave. Honestly, this is the false cause logical fallacy. Now, I'm not a philosopher. I'm not fond of Socrates personally. I'm not fond of philosophy. But the false cause fallacy states that because a landing page shows you when someone leaves, that in that case, a landing page must be necessary. But what are the facts? You only need to know where people leave if you have a landing page because there are so many clicks. And here's a mathematical equation for you. More clicks equals fewer sales. This is completely accepted, known fact. It's not controversial. There's no contention. I will repeat this. More clicks equals fewer sales. You need to know where someone leaves on a landing page because it's a landing page. You do not need to know where someone leaves if you have a correctly set up product page. And while I'm on the subject of logical fallacies, it's also the red herring fallacy because it's showing people, like diverting people from the facts. The facts are you should not use a landing page with books unless you're going to do a 5,000 bundle. They're typically for things like courses or where you, as I said, where you need to explain and like a new invention you might be bringing to the market. Something like that, but not something that's easily understood like a book. You don't need to explain the content of your book. A book is read. You do not use landing pages. So please do not take the advice of anyone who tells you a landing page is necessary because that absolutely is in contravention of sound e-commerce principles. It is not the industry standard. And to succeed in e-commerce, you need to get the basics right, not do something weird and off-centre. That is super important. In reality, it's the extra steps with the landing page that cause people to leave. It's the nature of the landing page that means you need to know where they leave. With direct product, you don't need to know where they leave. Gosh. Okay, let's get on to the second step, the second sign. Avoid images of how to download something. I see a lot of this, and I have mentioned it before. Google will index this, and if someone searches your name, these images will show, especially on Pinterest, and you don't want that. And it can last for 6 months. A client of mine told me she did that before she came to me, and then she realised it was a bad idea, got rid of them from her site, from her Shopify store, and 6 months later, these were still appearing in searches for her author name. And of course, that's not what you want. Sorry, just checking my dog. She ate a cane toad just before Christmas. She's fine. But the vet bill was absolutely horrendous. And of course, at first we thought it might be a snake bite until they ran all the tests. So now I'm quite frightened she'll find another cane toad. But this weekend I'm putting snake wire all around inside all the hedging so she can't go under them looking for cane toads. But anyway, let's get back to the point. The second thing, as I said, are those images of how to download. Now, that is in direct contravention of the WCAG 2.2 guidelines and regulations, which state you must not put information that you can put in text into an image. It's also exceptionally bad for SEO. It's also very bad for customers. And the worst thing I find, which is also sign 3, because these two are combined, the third sign you're doing something horribly wrong with your Shopify store is you don't have your hook above the fold. Now, what is your hook? Your hook is why someone would want to buy your book. Remember, e-commerce runs on cold audiences. So these are people who have never heard of you. You could be from Mars. You could be from anywhere. They've never heard of you. They don't know you exist. They land on your product page. They look at your book. Hook them straight away with why they would want your book. Do not hook them with how to download, and worse still, do not hook them with an image of how to download. No one in their right mind cares how to download something they don't want to buy in the first place. Customer journey. You create interest, attract desire, the rest of it, and they have to want to buy it. Once they want to buy it, then they think about delivery, which you really should have down the bottom in collapsible boxes. You should not have it above the fold, and you should not have it in an image. That is a mega 101 error. Get rid of those dreadful images showing how to download something. Delete. Put that information in collapsible boxes, not above the fold. Now, if you haven't watched my other videos, you might be saying, what's above the fold? Sometimes it's now called above the scroll. Like the olden days, your grandparents might have had a newspaper. I suppose people still do, but you can imagine they get a newspaper, they open it up. But before they open it up, they're holding it and they're looking at the headlines and the information. That is called above the fold, because the newspaper's folded. When they open it up, then they look at what's below the fold. Imagine if all the unimportant information was there instead of the headline. So, you see people on movies going past newspaper stands, they have all this stuff, how to download above the fold. You need to hook them on why they want to buy the book. You have to attract attention, create desire, and prompt action. You do not tell them how to download. That is the last thing you do. And so these two come hand in hand. Sign 2 and sign 3, that your store is using a terrible strategy, is either or both of those things. Get rid of those images that tell you how to download, put it in collapsible boxes. I don't know what they're called in WooCommerce, but in Shopify they're called collapsible rows or collapsible boxes, depending on your theme. So just stick them in something where there's a heading and they can click on something and it has a drop down explaining. That way it's nice and tidy out of the way, and if people are wanting to buy it, they can easily find it there. Here's a bonus tip that just occurred to me. Get rid of quantity selectors on digital items such as ebooks or audiobooks. People have run into a lot of problems when they've had that there, because someone might think I'll buy 2 by mistake, or they might think I'll buy 1 for my friend or something like that. Get rid of them, create an audiobook and an ebook template and a default one, and get rid of just hide the quantity selector. It only takes a couple of seconds and then it's gone. Okay, so now we've covered 1, 2, and 3 signs that show your Shopify store is using bad strategies. And now on to the 4th, your buy button colour. You don't want that clear one that comes as standard on many themes, a clear one with a little black outline. Just think of it. You can imagine how much money has been put into research on buy button colours. I don't mean just Googling it and seeing what Fred Blog says on their blog or what Mary Smith says on her whatever. I'm talking about evidence like studies. And let's face it, Amazon has spent an absolute fortune in testing buy button colours, and they've tweaked the shades slightly over the years. But the worst converting buy button colour is one with no contrast, such as the white one with a little black border. So don't do that. That's not good at all. And now to my 5th sign that your Shopify store is not working as it should, and that is, if you have Shopify, then you may also like down the bottom. An e-commerce store is a business, and you should treat it as a business and get a cross-sell app that you can control, and you can set the products along the bottom. Running ads, I run ads to bundles, and then I put the next books in the series in the frequently bought together. And it's very rare that someone will only buy the product I'm advertising and not pick up the cross sells. They'll also pick up upsells, but they will very commonly pick up the cross sells. And you can control that with the cross sell app. So if you see if your site has, you may also like, disable that, just hide the icon in Shopify and get yourself a cross sell app. Now, no one is going to have a cross-sell app if it doesn't make the money. These things are designed to make you money. So set them up. Don't let them run automatically. Set them up manually. Like, I've got hundreds of books. And if I can have the time to set these up manually, then you can too. It's just something you have to do in business. It's something that has to be done. There is no point having a Shopify store without a proper cross-sell app. Don't worry about the upsell at this point if you're like overwhelmed or anything, or you don't want to do it yet. Looks, the review app does have one that comes with it, but you must have a cross-sell app. Do not leave it to Shopify, you may also like, because it will show irrelevant products. Now, say you're running an ad to a bundle of, say, 6 books, and say you have 12 in the series. And when the person lands on that page, they think, oh, this sounds really good, I'm going to buy this. And they scroll down, it says you may also like. And it might be book 5 in a different series they've never read, and book 12 in a series they've never read, and think, why the hell would I want to buy that? Of course they're not going to. It just shows them anything randomly. So imagine then if the same person scrolls down, there's 6 books, they've got great reviews, that the ad sounds good, I'm going to buy this. And then you have, say, a 3-book bundle next, like the next few books in the series. They're going to take a risk on that, especially if you say, save more by buying these together. Or say you've only got, say, 2 more books in the series. You could have book 7 and 8 sitting next to it, and most people will take that up. It'll be quite uncommon that someone will only buy the bundle you're advertising and not pick up the next 2 in the series. If you have a product page with a bundle, also have cross sells to bundles, unless, of course, it's your series is about to run out, and then you can have individual books. But cross sell apps are big money makers, and they are my 5 signs that your Shopify store is not doing as well as it should be, that you're not using the correct strategies. But this is an extra one, Klaviyo. You must have Klaviyo. You must simply have Klaviyo on your e-commerce store, or it's not really a proper e-commerce business, is it? For goodness sake, don't have MailerLite or something like that. They're like, for the retailers, you've got to think, e-commerce is here, retailers are there. They don't mix. Like, of course, when you're running ads to your store, people will often go to Amazon and buy those books from Amazon, etc. But an e-commerce business and selling your books on the retailers, you've got to think of these as 2 separate businesses. And where I see people go badly wrong is where they bring their mindset. When I say mindset, I'm not talking like woo-woo stuff. I'm talking strategies. They'll bring their strategies, the way they think impacts their strategies across from Amazon or selling on any retailer, selling wide, across to e-commerce. It just doesn't work. Keep MailerLite. I've got lots of videos on this. Keep it for the retailers. You must have Klaviyo because it makes you money. It's not like a retailer newsletter list and you think, you don't know if it's making you money, let's face it. Like, you might send out a newsletter and get a bump in sales and you put 2 and 2 together and go, yes, I've made money from this newsletter. You don't actually know, you don't have figures. With Klaviyo, you actually know. You actually know. And a lot of people make the mistake when they're new to e-commerce of thinking it's just a newsletter list. It's got nothing to do with that. Well, I mean, sorry, it does have a lot to do with it, but that's just one part of it. It's not the whole. Because, yes, you do send out newsletters, campaigns, and you can send out SMS campaigns. But the beauty of Klaviyo is in the emails it will send automatically once you've set them up. The browse abandonment flow. It's like window shopping. Someone looks in the window, they look at your products, they don't add to cart, they leave, they will be sent a browse abandonment flow. Or if they add to cart but don't commence checkout, they're sent an abandoned cart flow. If they commence checkout but don't purchase, they're sent an abandoned checkout flow. You can collect birthdays. They're automatically sent a discount on their birthday. That is a very good money spinner. And you can also do post-purchase flow, split into new customers, returning customers. You can do a whole lot of stuff that brings you in money. Once you've set it up, you don't lift a finger. It just keeps making you money. So that's very important to have it. No one would have it if it didn't make them money. And that's another mindset I think authors coming from the retailers have a little bit of difficulty with. They're used to not knowing whether things are making them money because they don't have the evidence in front of them to a large degree when they're selling on the retailers. But when you're in e-commerce, you know exactly what's going on precisely, and you can see what's making you money. So all those 8 and 9-figure businesses out there, and 7-figure businesses and 6-figure businesses wouldn't have Klaviyo if it wasn't making them money. 4-figure businesses, 3-figure businesses, it makes you money. That is its only point of its existence. Now, there's a lot of really, if I can be honest, terrible advice out there for authors in e-commerce because it's a fairly new thing. And then people jump on the bandwagon and people think this is good, and they'll follow some scheme they don't know isn't a good scheme, and then they'll perpetuate that myth, sort of like almost like gossip. They'll perpetuate something that isn't correct. But no, stick to the sound e-commerce principles and don't make these rookie mistakes. Stick to the sound e-commerce principles and you will succeed. Okay, if you'd like me to make a video on a particular topic or even do a tutorial, please just make a comment below. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye for now.